well, obviously part of that then becomes an album. So when did the idea of an album or yeah, when did it take shape? When you actively started thinking about the album, when you wrote and those kinds of things?
Well, we just started writing songs straight after we finished recording our EP, The French Press. And there was no real vision at the start. We were just sort of putting songs together. But it became sort of apparent after having written for, it was probably about 6 to 9 months before we recorded the album, that the songs sort of had similar themes throughout them. And yeah, it just seemed like a lot of what was happening in the world around and to our friends around us was just sort of filtering into the ideas in the songs. Just that, you know, the world is at a time of change, and, you know, we are at a time of change, and some of our friends were having that, what you call the Saturn Returns thing. There's a friend's band of ours, I hadn't heard that term before. Our friend's band, Loose Tooth, put out this EP called Saturn Returns, and then I looked it up and found out that, you know, it's that. Do you know much about the?
Yeah, I mean, that's everywhere. I hear it all the time now in Melbourne. I'm not sure if do you get that here?
I've never heard it.
Saturn Returns is a theory. I think it comes from kind of astrology, but lots of people, at least lots of our friends, believe it as a thing. It's like when, I think astrologically, when your Saturn is in the place where you were born. Where it was when you were born. And it's usually around the time of late 20s, early 30s. And the theory is that around that age, someone's having their Saturn returns. It's when they kind of have some weird, drastic change in their life and things get weird. They might go off the rails, or they might like totally go in a different direction. Could be good or bad, but most of all, it's like crazy stuff happens.
Some sort of existential panic.
Yeah. Right. There's a few Saturn returns going on.
That's happening to a lot of people around us, and, you know, probably ourselves.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, did you experience that yourselves in the band?
I did, yeah.
Kind of a existential crisis, or maybe not.
Yeah, I don't want to be so emotional about it or like dramatic about it, but yeah, you just get a bit older and you just sort of think about things a little bit more. So yeah. And
then so that then seeps through in the lyrics, I suppose.
Yeah. So a lot of the songs are about just the sort of the shifting of the sands and just the enormity of, you know, they're just these grand concepts that the idiot human is trying to deal with.
Yeah, it's a lot of characters that in the songs that we kind of realised one of the themes that was running through. We didn't intend it to be that way, but at the end, we often write through characters that contain some parts of us, but they're not just us, or they're not just made up either. Right. These small characters trying to negotiate the big changes that are happening. Yeah, both, you know, the big ones in the world, which, you know, everyone knows about, that affects all of us, and like the smaller, more, you know, they're personal songs rather than like political songs, but all of that seeps in.
Well, there was one line, and you mentioned the kind of the macro side of it, where it's from Mainland. Back on the Mainland, the chimps were coming up trumps, which I don't believe in coincidences in these occasions. So where did that line come from?
No, yeah, that's like a Planet of the Apes type line.
Yeah, that line was that's read into that what you will. I think. No one can sue me for that.
Fair enough.
I don't want to go to jail.
Small T.
But especially I'm not American as well, so especially for us who don't live in America, how do you feel about those things that are going on, and then not even America, but England and Venezuela is going nuts right now. But those kind of things. So how do you process those things into songs, or elements of those into songs?
I don't know. We don't really have a grand ambition to make any political points, I don't think, with our songs. But I think that was more. I don't know. Tom wrote those lyrics, so I shouldn't speak for him, but I will. but I
go ahead.
No, but isn't it? It's more like just that. It's, you know, you're not trying to offer any definitive point on it.
No, yeah, it's more those things do affect, you know, those, you know, we're in the world gets so much smaller that everything affect pretty much everyone. Particularly those big things. You're affected in at least some small way, like even psychically, if not like, literally, doesn't literally affect your life. But it's more those things make you feel sad at certain things or angry at certain things. But I think making songs and making art and stuff is a good antidote to process your feelings on these big matters where you don't really have any say.
Right. And a lot of the songs, they have that sort of that grappling with those big things, and but then also finding the things that are therefore good, that are also good. Like Tom's song Mainland is with all of that refugee crisis just a few kilometres away, and what's happening in the States and UK and Australia and a lot of mainland Europe as well, just that swing to the right. At the same time, you've got somebody that you're in love with just a few metres away, so that's
right.
You can take solace in that.
Yeah, does it help writing about those things, and does it give you somewhat of an understanding?
No.
I don't know if we understand anything more. Not we understand anything, but it's. I think it helps in some way. It's good to write loud songs and pull those in, but ultimately, it's also like it's not all so serious. We're also like understand that we're kind of a fun band, and we those big things come in and they're unavoidable. But like, a lot of this record is like trying to be as well. Trying to be anti-cynical, trying to... It's so easy to be cynical.
Jaded is easy.
It's so easy to be jaded, but it's harder to actually try and like push through that.
Right.
So I guess we're trying to do that in some way. Yeah.
And I suppose then one of the ways is playing music and creating music. So, you touched upon it already, but you write somewhat separately in terms of lyrics. So how do you judge each other's work in a way? It's not exactly the way I want to word it, but if you understand what I mean.
Is there some sort of oversight?
Right.
Yeah. I think what we do is we just sort of play the songs for a while, and you'll offer, somebody mightn't have finished the lyrics, and you might talk about where that song or what that verse could be about, or somebody might come with a verse and somebody might say, don't know if that lyric works, or that sounds a bit silly or a bit naff. We have always made a point of just being able to say those things, because it can work to the detriment of a good band if you just sort of nod and maintain the airs of everything's fine, or not, everything's great. We want to be able to say no, I don't go for that, my opinion would be this. But we all know that we're not really there to just piss each other off, and it's not a power trip. It's only just about trying to make the songs better. So we're pretty free to be able to say what we want. So somebody will come up with the lyrics generally, but then there'll be a little bit of knocking it into shape.
And then does it make it easier that the band is made up part of the family, people you've known quite a while? Because I'm sure, especially now that you're touring, you do spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, I think that is easier, definitely. I don't have any alternate experiences of touring or doing a lot with a band, which is not... I think I've always been in bands with good friends or family. I think the others kind of similar. But I think it does help. Like if there's someone you don't know as well, it might be harder to kind of go up and like criticize what they're doing.
Right.
But with us, we're all really open, and like we all know how each other work and how each other are, and it's pretty easy to. It's a lot easier to work that way when you can say, I don't like that, but how about this?
Yeah,
that sucks. You're a bad person.
There's one more line I wrote down. It's from the opener, An Air-Conditioned Man. I wrote down, caught in a necktie, a lifestyle in a single file. I wondered where that came from.
Oh yeah, that song's about like your salary man, business person who's just stuck in the drudgery, and that's caught in a necktie, just plodding along the pavement, behind thousands of people exactly the same. Yeah, it's just about the drudgery of 9 to 5.
Right.
And this person who's sort of having this slow burning panic attack about that, and then this is sort of this opening up towards the end of the song when Tom's verse comes in, which is sort of the realization of what is being lost, and you know, what might be found again.
And having been in bands all your life, or most of your life, then was it clear for you early on that you didn't necessarily want to go down that path, the necktie and just...
Oh, well, we all, like, I mean, the reality these days is that bands have to work as well. You need to juggle. So, you know, I do that, Tom does that. We all just juggle work with band. And I think that carries through our songs. And it always had, like, even when we were in the earlier bands, there's that sense of that looking out the window, sort of that escapism type of idea, you know. You're in this job now, or you're in this place now, and, you know, but what's out the window? So, yeah, that's us, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal experience in that. Like you know, we've all had a lot of life experience and done a whole bunch of different things. But it's nice to be able to do this now, and to, like so we don't know where any of it's going to go. But it's, you know, it's nice to be able to travel and play music, you know, in other places.
And it's then kind of the dream that you see when you look out the window. Is that being able to live off of this music, or are there other ambitions as well?
No, I don't have any immediate plans to start my acting career or anything. No, we're all just doing this because we really like it, and we're just going to keep doing it and see where it goes. But yeah,
I think we said as long as it stays fun, we'll do it. If it stops being fun, then when it's time to call it quits.
Well, finally, then I just want to talk about the live show a little bit, because I assume, or maybe wrongly, that must be kind of the pinnacle of this whole album process. You're in the studio, you're making this record, and then at the end of it, you get to play the songs for people. So what is it like this period now, where you're kind of in between? So.
Yeah, well, we're playing a few of these songs from the album now, and while we've been touring, we put one of the songs out, An Air-Conditioned Man, that one. And it's funny how much of a difference it makes when people have now heard the song. Because we've been playing a few of the songs, some that have been released, some that haven't, and the reactions are always far stronger for the songs that people have heard, which makes sense. But yeah, we're not playing the whole album now because we don't want to have, you know, people just sort of bored or going to get a drink. So we're just keeping that balance. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to play the new songs to people that have heard those songs. It's nice to get them out there.
And is that part of the writing process as well, where you think how it will go over live?
Yeah, this album I know we were conscious about how they would go live.
Yeah, I think it was in the back of our heads probably. Yeah, having played so many shows now, that in the early days maybe not so much. Yeah, we didn't think how they'd go live, but that's not the main. It's not the main thing. It still has to be is a song. But if the song's fun to play, generally it'll be good to play live. But yeah, we always try and make them the songs as engaging as possible, so that hopefully that should naturally just translate into being a good live song. You know, making sure there's rhythm there and, you know, good melodies in there.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.